All right, man. We live. Trucking No Bullshit podcast, man. I got the guy here today. Again, I appreciate we getting some good guests on here, man. But I appreciate him taking the time out of his day to come over here and talk trucking with us, man. You guys know what it is, but you got a lot of you guys might already know who this is, probably that are watching. But let's go ahead, if you wouldn't mind, man. Just introduce yourself real quick and tell us what you got going on. Where you at?
Hello, I'm Wad. Yeah, y'all know me as Wad100 on Instagram, Wadley St. Pierre. Born and raised in Miami, Florida. Started trucking back in 2014, 2014. I got my CDLs, and from there I just started the journey. The journey started from there. So what you see today is something that started way back in 2014. And, we're gonna get more into that.
Nice. All right. So yeah, everybody, tell me where they can find you on Instagram and YouTube and all that good stuff. That way, I don't got to put it at the front from the back.
All right. Oh, so you can find me on Instagram and TikTok. I have a YouTube, but I really don't post much on YouTube. All of it is the same as WAD underscore 100 underscore Ward 100. So you can follow me on Instagram, reach out to me, and also on TikTok as well.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I see you got on that TikTok game, and you be posting a bunch of stuff over there.
Yeah,
So man, let's jump right into it, man. How did you? I know you in the heavy haul. You got the 8 axle setup, right?
yeah.
So how did that happen, man? How did you? What's your background before you got into trucking? So let's talk about the man, how it led up, how you got into trucking, and what you were doing before that, and then we'll go from there. So what was you doing before trucking? That the light bulb went off and was like, I'm gonna pick this shit.
Before trucking, man, I deal with like what every American is like basically taught to do: go to college. I went to college for like 3.5 years, going on 4 years, man. My junior year, I'm looking at like, man, I'm on all this debt, man, and I really don't know what I want to do with my future. So I decided, like, man, you know what? My junior year had one more year of college left, man. I just dropped out. I was like, man, it would be great to get a degree, but I feel like it wasn't no passion behind getting it and continuing with it. So I just decided in 2014 to go get my CDLs. 2014, I went and got my CDLs, and the first thing I went to go do is right when I got my CDLs, I went to Miami Lakes Tech. I graduated with 1,000 miles. You have to drive 1,000 miles. They give you the certificate. And the first job I landed was working with Warner Enterprise, right out of Lithia Springs, Georgia.
Hell yeah, let's go. All right.
Yeah. I started that. I started doing that. I did that for about 6 months. I started driving for Warner. I got the experience. My trainer, he was a guy from Atlanta, Georgia. I can't remember his name. He was based in Atlanta, Georgia, and we had a dedicated lane running for Home Depot. And it was from somewhere in Alabama to South Carolina. So we were running back and forth dedicated. During that time, I got the driving experience, learned how to drive, learn how to back. Within those 6 months, I kind of really got tired of it, and I really was looking for something local. So I came back home, and then I got with one of my brother-in-laws, and we started running a tissue. It was a Russian guy out of South Carolina. We used to run tissue loads from South Carolina to Pennsylvania, back and forth, dedicated, like a dedicated run, back and forth all week. That was great. The pay was excellent back then as well. And it's just getting that experience. I was doing that, and we was really running very hard. We was doing like 6 trips, 7 trips a week, just back and forth.
Yeah, so
Back and
y'all was
forth.
teaming that, just turning it
Yeah,
around, turning it
yeah,
around.
yeah. It
Okay.
was a ten
All right.
hour ride. It was basically a 10 hour ride. So and then with the tissue loads are super light. We'd
Yeah.
just go there and drop and hook.
What
Come
year
back.
you said this was 15? 2000.
I got my license at 14, so it was the beginning. So that happened in the beginning of 2015. I started
So
doing
you've
that.
been in the trucking space that whole time from
Yeah,
then to now. Okay, so damn, you've
yeah,
been in a minute.
yeah. So
That's
from
a
there,
minute.
I did that, and then things. I really wanted to just get a local job. So my brother was working at Nestle at the time, right here out here in Western Florida. Uh, he put in the word for me. I only had about like 7, 8 months of just like driving experience, and the job required 2 years. So now this is where it comes into play, where it's who you know.
Right.
And so my brother was real good with the hiring manager, and he was like, "Yo, I got my younger brother. He probably don't have 2 years experience, but he just have like about 8 months under his belt. If you guys want to work with him, I could let him know." So his supervisor, man, he loved my brother. My brother's an excellent worker, And he just took his word for it. Like, man, bring your little brother in. I'm gonna hire him, man. No matter who. So that goes to show you, it could have been people that had 10 years experience versus my 8 years experience. Based on who I know, I got hired. You get what I'm saying? So
right.
Life is about who you know as well. It's not always about what you know. So
yeah,
I end up getting the job.
That's what they say. I think they say that your network is your net worth.
Of
or
course.
Your network is your network either way.
Yep. So I ended up getting a job. So 2015 all the way to 2019. All the way to 2019. All those years I've been working for Nestle. We actually had a location right there. We actually had one of those hubs right there in Fort Myers where that Love's is.
Yeah.
Right at that exit. It's right back. You get off on that exit, it's right back there.
Yeah.
We had a drop location there. We had one in Palm Beach. And then basically we used to just run shuttles there. And, I had the least seniority. So I was in the yard, just sharpening my skills of driving. Like I was using the yard dog, just backing all day, 8 hours of just straight backing all day, just perfecting the driving aspect. Even though it's a yard dog, people don't understand. They make you an excellent driver, even though it's not a truck.
Right.
But, it's just sharpening your skills. If you could work the yard, once you get out there on the road, those day cabs and driving is much easier. So some hours in the yard doing that, some years, 5 years. And then 2019, at the end of 2019, Nestle just decided, they did I would just consider a business move. They're doing whatever's great for the business at the time, and they let go 7,000 employees across the U.S., which was bigger than me. There's a lot of people that got let go due to the fact, I don't know if they ended up selling that division of the company to someone else, but things happen and they let go 7,000 people across the U.S. And then I was on that journey of like, man, what's next for me? I done spent 5 years of my life dedicating my time to this company, and I'm just let go in a matter of minutes. You know what I'm saying? But to be honest, it wasn't as bad because they gave us time to prepare, and they had a big meeting, and they let us know 6 months in advance before they let us go. And also, I can't really never talk bad about them. Shout out to Nestle. They gave me a severance package to walk away. They gave us time, and then after that, they also paid us for like 2 whole months after they laid us off.
Damn.
So I had some money saved up. I had some money put away, and before I jumped straight into just trucking, I decided to go work dump trucks for like about 5 months. Just to see if I like it. Because I was thinking about buying a dump truck and just running in, the Miami area, just running a dump truck. I was like, man, you know what? I did that for like 6 months. And then I was like, man, you know what? I just want to go get a semi. So my first purchase, I went out there and I bought a Freightliner Cascade, a 2015 Freightliner Cascade, about 480,000 miles, about $46,000 out of Penske.
What was you pulling with it?
When I first got it, I ended up buying a 53-foot step deck with ramps and everything.
Okay.
Bought it from a guy from down south. Went and picked it up down there in Homestead. Paid cash for it. And from there, I didn't really have no experience. So before I even made that purchase, I talked to one of my friends who had like 10 years of trucking experience. I was like, man, I want to do step deck work, but I don't have no chaining and securement experience. If you run with me and you teach me, we can work together. He agreed to it. And then from there, I went and purchased that step deck. We ran teams, and he taught me how to secure loads and with chains, binders, and just different things like what they call the slinky coils. You know how you wrap the slinky coil. All those different techniques he taught me. So we both was learning at the same time. So with that experience, we just took off and ran with that.
Yeah,
that's how the trucking.
You've been in like every sector, man, from the drive-in to the yard dog, getting all them skills back. I mean, man, talk about starting from the bottom. Now we're here. I mean, you didn't just jump into it and go boom and go. You was doing everything, every aspect of it. You put some real time in.
Yeah, Warner was the drive man. Nestle was the reefer. Then we jumped the step deck. And we just been working everything, man.
I imagine that yard dog really, like you say, sharpen your skills. That really sharpen your skills a lot on backing up, man. I can imagine backing all day. I mean, you driving backwards,
8 hours a day,
driving forwards,
8 to 10 hours a day.
Yeah. So, man, that's awesome. I love to hear that because I tell all my clients, everybody I talk to, you got to get in and put your time in. You might not even like this shit. Everybody wants to jump in, buy trucks, and do this, that. You might not even like it. So you gotta start it somewhere that you can get your foot in the door and learn where they're willing to help you. That's awesome.
And one thing I always tell people, like, man, you're not ready to buy a truck unless you're comfortable, just as comfortable as you are when you drive your personal vehicle. Like when I'm in that truck, I'm not worried about nothing. Like,
yeah, that's
you
good. I
remember
never heard that said like that before. That's good. Until you as comfortable as driving your car, don't even think about buying a truck.
Yeah.
That's smart. Yeah.
And just think about the first time you jumped in the truck and I jumped in the truck. You know
I remember it like it was yesterday. I remember the guy who was training me, man. I was backing up. We had to do that back then, the serpentine around the deal.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that no more in school, but I had to go around the cones like in an S and do at the end of it, finish it with an alley dock. And I ran the cones over like 4 times. And he was like, "You ain't got a snowball's chance of hell. You might as well quit while you're ahead." And I'm just one of those people, you tell me some shit like that, and I'm like, oh, now I'm going to get it,
Yeah, of course.
But, yeah, it was crazy.
And I remember one of the journeys, man, like, man, I remember one time, like, when I was working for Warner, I drove the whole 11-hour shift, and I come to park at night, and it's 2 trucks. So I'm like, it's 2 trucks. There's only one spot left. One to my left, one to my right. It's that one spot in the middle. So, I'm like, man, I'm so tired, man. I don't feel like backing in. I was like, let me pull it head first. Maybe it may be easier. Start pulling the head first, not noticing my side. Boom, I hit the truck right on my side. I'm thinking I'm already straight, but the trailer is not straight. Ended up right when I hit it, I'm like, oh, man, I look. They had to write a police report, and people probably looking like, look at this rookie. He would never be a driver, or people just, how people is when you're sitting at the truck stop, you just looking at a rookie driving. You can tell working for Warner or just probably getting on with Swift. So that kind of motivated me to be like, man, you know what? I really want to take this to the next level. Mistakes happen, as drivers. So
there ain't no way you get in the game and you do every aspect of it. Been in it that's long. Now you're talking over almost 10 years. If you're talking about 2015. Like me, I've been in it a decade also, and it's like you don't get to this level by not making mistakes. It happens.
Yeah, so it was probably somebody in that parking lot. Oh, he's not gonna make it that long, and we still here.
Right.
And, I took that mistake, like I vowed to never make that mistake ever again, and
So where was the light bulb that was like, I'm gonna get into fucking heavy haul? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go into oversized. I'm gonna do this great big ass shit that's just huge. Where did the light bulb go? You went from step deck, from driving yard off step deck to being like, I'm gonna do this giant pulling a half a city down the road type of shit.
Yeah, but I did. It was one more little step in between the step deck and the 8. I went when I had the Freightliner. I sold the step deck and I actually bought a 2-axle low boy, a 40-ton.
Okay.
So what really sparked the interest was, man, one time I got this one little load. It was a very simple load, very light, probably about 15,000 pounds. It's probably about 10 wide. And it was going 8 miles from Fort Lauderdale, the port of Fort Lauderdale, right off 595, which is about 8 miles away. Just jump on the highway and get off on the exit. It was going to this power plant. And they paid me about $1,800 just to do that small short run. So I'm like, wow, this is a lot of money, man. Once I got there, I got to pick it up. Once I went to pick it up at the port, I seen the ATS trucks there. They had the big 8-axle. They had these big boxes. I don't know if there was generators or what in there. Some massive boxes on the 8-axles. 2 of them out there. And then it was just me with another little small piece. So I'm like, man, I wonder if they give me $1,800 to move this little 8 mile. I wonder how much these guys are getting paid to do the same route on these 8-axles. So
So you sold your 53 step deck, or you bought another one and kept that too?
I sold it. I sold the 53-foot step deck.
And went and got the 40-ton.
Yeah, I went and got the 40-ton. So right when I saw that was the interest right there. I'm like, man, one day I want to do something big like that. I like the 8-axle setup that they had. The trucks was looking nice, a lot of chroma. So that was kind of the interest. I started doing my research, just looking online, seeing loads like RGN loads, like super heavy loads, like around the 80, 90,000 pounds. I was seeing how much they paying these $10,000 and $15,000 loads. That was kind of like the interest, like right there. The money was there. I saw the money that I wanted to make, and it's something that I want to do. It was not just the money, don't get me wrong, but it's just something that I wanted to do. I feel like if you start anywhere from like Hot Shot or anywhere, that level of wanting more is always going to be there. So even if you start at Hot Shot, you're going to want to jump into a flatbed or a step deck. And then from there, you're going to see the RGNs. And then you're going to see the multi-axle. Then you might want to go to the Jeep, the boosters, and maybe even reach 13 axles. It's just that hunger that's always there once you start anywhere in any of those divisions. You're always going to want more and always want to work your way up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you have ambition and that's what you want to do, and you're going to want to, everybody's got to start somewhere. That's why I don't knock Hot Shots. I actually started in Hot Shot. And it took me years. I mean, we just started doing the RGN stuff like 2-3 years ago, you know, so it ain't even, it took me years to get to that level. I didn't just jump into that, you know, and nobody does. I mean, I actually have people that have done that. Like I've had guys that had my first truck, I bought a 40 ton. I'm like, damn, you ever do any load secure? But I don't even know how to change the shit down. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. You're playing Russian roulette out there.
You got more guts than I got to jump out there like that, dude. And I'm fearless, but at the same time, man, you got a lot of shit to secure and make sure people safe on the road, you know.
Of course.
So you seen that you was in the port, you saw the ATS trucks doing the big stuff. You went and looked, did some research because if you say you started an oversized, 40 ton in a smaller RG, it was mechanical or was it a hydraulic disconnect and all that?
The first one it was mechanical. And a brand new 40 ton was about. I paid like about. I financed it for about. It was like 46,000 for a brand new 40 ton.
That's what I started with too. Was a mechanical disconnect. We bought them used actually. And I think we paid 30,000, and then we went and did tires on them and stuff. But and they were like 2010s, 2015s. They were older, and I still got a couple of them. But yeah, that's what I started with just to get in and get my foot in the door before we went into the heavy stuff, you know?
Yeah.
So you did it exactly the same way I think 99% of people do it. Not everybody just like, I'm gonna buy a 4-axle today and just jump in.
No, I don't recommend that. It's a lot that comes out.
That's crazy. But everybody, there's so many people out online doing the heavy haul that people are like, man, I want to get the best. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think if I could go back to it and I had the money, I'd jump into it. But you got to get the knowledge first, right?
Of course. I would say go get the knowledge, man, because at the end of the day, people may watch me and watch you think it's easy, man. Even at the smallest level, the 40 ton level, man, it's hell. Like
you can do some super loads on 40 tons. They're just big. They're oversized. They're not heavy. You know.
Yeah.
We're doing one right now. Actually, not even on a low boy, but on a step deck, and it's 18 and a half wide. I'm actually right in the middle of it right now. My driver is on it, and he's taking it up to Pennsylvania. And if you go up there, you got to be bonded when you get that big. So you got to go get a bond. You got to deal with police escorts, all that bullshit. And it's like it's a 2-week process. And the load paid $25,000, but it's a 2-week deal. Hurry up and wait. Kentucky and West Virginia both wanted 3 escorts. I mean, it's just a lot of hurry up and wait, and that's on a step deck. That ain't even on a low boy.
And it's going to where is it going to?
Pennsylvania, by Pittsburgh. So it come out of Texas. It's a big, I don't even know what it is, like a round steel or concrete form that they're using for probably like a base or a tower or something like that. But it's like 6 foot tall, and it's just a big circle basically, and it's 18 and a half in diameter, and it's 6 foot tall trailer going on a step deck paying that. Now that's not happening every day. Usually we get stuff that's taller, so it's got to go on a load boy, or if it's equipment, they got to roll it on load. But it just happened to come across and it worked out. But you don't have to have that to get into the bigger, more expensive stuff. So like you started with the 53, you probably was doing oversized a little bit before you got into.
Yes, I was a couple of oversized 10 wide, 11 wide, nothing too crazy.
Yeah, that's what I teach my guys with the hot shots is get into that, doing the pools, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15 wide, stuff like that. You can do even on hot shots light.
Yeah.
So that inspired you being at the port, seeing those trucks. You went and did your due diligence, and that's how you got into that side of it. But that's still, how was you like, I'm gonna go get the big dog, the 8-axle? I mean, it ain't the 13. You can go 100 million axles, right? But the 8's pretty well. That's the big leagues. When you
I talked to a couple of guys. I even reached out. And matter of fact, at the time I had the truck, I got approved for the truck. I ran into Joe Gibb out in military base in Houston. In Mississippi.
Yeah.
Military base in Mississippi. I ran into Joe Gibb, man. And he had the exact setup that I was about to purchase. So we sat there and talked for a long time, man. Like, yo, I'm getting an 8-axle setup. I got this Kenworth truck, the T800, the tri-axle, and I'm getting a Fontaine 60 ton with the flip. And we just sat there and had a whole conversation. Joe Gibb was just giving me a lot of game. As a person that's been in the industry for over 20 years, we just sat there and he was just giving me game like I was his little brother or something. Telling me
I think I've seen him on one of your Instagram or something. He's on TikTok or something. So he's been in a minute, huh? He's got a bigger setup now though, don't he? He's doing.
He got a massive setup, Yeah, but you know, he always had the whole setup. But you know, sometimes he leave the Jeep and run an 8-axle setup, and then you know, see, I think he run up to 11 axles, and sometimes he could be up to like 50 something in the well. So he got a crazy setup
with the struts. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, can you describe a like really significant challenge or obstacle that you encountered, and how you overcame it? You know, just one that you can remember right off the top. I know there's probably a gazillion, and we've all had, you know, it's the whole career challenges, right? But what's one
Yeah.
real significant one that was like, damn, this might take me out of the game right here, and you overcame it?
Oh man, trials and error, trials and error. I usually post this video where I was stuck in the snow, and I was like, and I usually post on Instagram that I cried that day. I think that day was the most challenging ever. Like, yo, like coming out, my co-driver, we coming out, boom, he hits the sides of something and it blows the tire and bend the rim. So that started off. So I'm like, fuck. We went and got that fixed. Shit cost me like probably about $1,000, just a new tire and then a new rim on a step deck. So then from there, we get in the mountains, you know, the drivers, he started driving. I was in the back laying down, getting some rest. Then all of a sudden, he's like, oh, I need to pull over. I need to pull over. He pulls over, right? Now we're in the middle of the mountains and it's snowing like crazy. So, you know, we're still moving, but you know, he decided to pull over because he had a bad headache. He wasn't feeling well. He's like, man, you know, you can take the wheel. I already had some good rest. So I was ready to take the wheel. Right when he pulled over, it's kind of the snow wasn't even that bad. He pulls over and we're pulling rebar. We're going to like Memphis, I think. So we're in the mountains. I get in the truck and I try to. The truck is not the rebar is kind of heavy, so I couldn't get out. So the truck just keeps sliding off the side of the hill, side of the hill. Came to the point I had to call a record. Not that mind you, I just spent $1,000. The bill, I just posted it today. The bill was like about $2,800. So $2,800 plus that. I'm like, fuck. I started crying. I cried that day, man. And it was cold. So we had to wait for the record to come. So I'm like, man, I was crying. Like, man, why this gotta happen to me? Like, I had enough for today, man. Enough for one day. Like, yo, I think this is how it almost pushed me over the edge, man. Like, this is too much in one day. Spent about over $4,000 in just mistakes. You get what I'm saying?
I had one happen to me like that out up north, up in like Minnesota, man. And they came out, and I was actually talking to Benny about this because he just got stuck and had an issue. And I was like, man, that looked like $13,000 because that's what they charged me was $13,000. Well, I about left the keys in the truck. I was like, well, y'all can have it. I'm walking home. I was crying, man.
So once that happened, man, I really felt like, man, if I can get through this, you know, I can get through anything. So once that happened, the record came. And one thing, let me tell you, if you ever get stuck in snow, do not detach. I did the rookie mistake. I detached from the trailer.
Yeah.
That's the rookie fucking mistake that I made. Like, I detached from the trailer. Now it became a recovery instead of just a pull out, because now he had to basically move the truck and then basically hoist the trailer up and then move it back to where I could reconnect in a safe location and back on solid ground. So instead of it costing me $600-800 for just to pull me out, I had to get that.
That's a game right there, because I had one of my guys do that same mistake and a couple times actually, but they done it on gravel, and then they disconnect and the trailer or dirt sinks into the ground real low.
Yeah.
So now you can't even get the truck back up underneath of it. I've probably done that myself, but I'm trying to think of one time when I did that, and I just never disconnect the truck. If you stuck,
that's a rookie mistake that I made, and never do it again, because instead of $600 to $800 just to, you know, maybe hook up to me and just pull me out, it became a recovery. So, you know, that could be real expensive.
Yeah.
So that day, man, I felt like, man, I done seen the worst in one day. 4,000 in mistakes, man. 4,000.
Yeah, it happens, man. The best was, and that was back then on a step deck. You get into what you're doing now and make a mistake, and it's heavier. You talking way more money.
I'm gonna cry before they get there.
Yeah, it could be 15, 20 grand at the snap of a finger. And we haven't had one, thank God, that was on a heavy haul yet. But I had a guy flip a truck and had pipe on it and everything. They had to come out with 2 rotators and a landau, and it was expensive. But what are some key lessons, or like a core 3 or 4 lessons that you hang on to, that you kind of go to your framework of things that you've learned, right? That helped you along your professional journey, that would benefit our listeners? Like, what are like the 3 little framework, like, hey, don't do this, whatever. What's a couple lessons you do right now that you use or go back to?
I would say, man, in this industry, you got to be patient, because when I first started, I didn't have any patience, and that's when everything go wrong. You got to be patient. When things are going bad, a lot of people like to speed it up. Me, I do the opposite. I slow it down, because that's when you speed things up in this industry. That's when you start making the worst decisions and things get worse. So you just got to learn how to pump your brakes. You know, the Lotus. You know, they always tell me, like when I was at Nestle, was just delivering pizza and ice cream. Don't rush. It's not like you're delivering a heart for a transplant that's going to save somebody's life, and they need to hear it urgently. You know, take your time. If it don't get there today, we'll get it there tomorrow. You know, same thing with what I do with this equipment. At the end of the day, I'm going to get there when I get there. So I would say patience. You got to have patience in the industry. If not, you're not going to make it. You know, you got to save for a rainy day. You got to save for a rainy day, because at the end of the day, you know, things happen out here. Like, for example, I just told you. You know, things that happen, like breakdowns. It's not if it's going to happen. It's when it's going to happen. Breakdowns and just emergency things that pop up, such as like getting stuck in a snowstorm and things of that nature. I would say save. And you know, another thing I would give a person to go with is you're never smart enough to know everything. Every day is a learning curve, and be open to learn new things. At the end of the day, we all are learning every day. Yeah. Every day I'm taking something from someone and learning from them. Whether it's direct or indirectly. Like, keep your mind open to new things, and always be able to learn.
That's what I was even telling like Benny, for instance, also, because he's younger than both of us. And I don't know how old you are, but you know, I'm 35. So him being like in his 20s, to jump into heavy haul and with a stretch and do all the stuff he's doing at his age, I'm like, damn, man, you know, you're an inspiration. I can learn stuff from that person, you know, and you never know who's going to teach you a lesson anyway. But yeah, 100%. I think every time I've ever gotten in a hurry, back to the patience thing, it's bit me in the ass every time. I'm like, oh, I got to hurry up and do this, or we got to hurry up, or I'm trying to grow or get more trucks, or build my fleet, or get bigger. Every single time I use the words hurry or let's go or speed, it never works, you know. And I was telling I tell a lot of people on the podcast or clients the same thing. Every time I talk to one of these guys, when I go to these conferences and stuff that have 100 trucks, 500 trucks, older guys, whatever, you know, I always ask them, what can you tell a young man like myself to get to the level that you're at? And it's always the answer that nobody wants to hear. I didn't want to fucking hear it either. It's time. It just takes time. You do something for 30, 40 years, you're liable to get good at it, you know?
Of course.
And it's the same. So patience, I agree with you 100%. Saving for a rainy day. I tell everybody that all of the money is not yours. Everybody wants to go buy that car. Everybody driving the Lambos, at the steak dinners, you know, going out on the boat, all the shit that, you know, me and you, everybody at a successful level does, but we don't spend all the money. It's not all ours. You know, there's a portion for the business, a portion for the truck, a portion of it that's yours. You know what I mean?
Of course, I agree.
So I agree with you 100% on that. And I mean, you never know who, like even you, man. I'm doing the heavy haul stuff too, but I look at you as inspiration, man. I love anybody that's in the game doing something you can learn something from. You know? Yeah. So I agree with that 100%, man. What's a memorable success story or a moment that really stands out, man, in your career where you were like, you know, whether it be the first day you got the truck, the logos on the truck, the first truck, step deck, whatever the hell it is, it don't matter. What's a big one, like a memorable, like, we here.
I think most memorable moment would probably be like when I first got the 2-axle lowboy, and I was still running kind of little teams with that as well. And you know, we had one big month, like where I did like 40K in a month, and I was like, wow, like yo, sky's the limit. Like I really did like gross money, 40,000 for just a 2-axle. We was running teams and was making a lot of money. We just had that hunger in us, and like that always pushed me to want more. At the end of the day, like that, I said, like I tell people like, yo, they don't even believe me. Like 40K one truck, like gross. That's real good numbers. At the end of the day, you know, we always talk about these gross numbers versus net, but you know, you got to gross a lot to take a lot home. So
yeah.
At the end of the day, I want people to understand, to make a lot of money, that gross number has to be high to take something. So I was just very happy about that, and like, man, the sky's the limit, man. If we could do this, and you know that didn't happen every month, but that was just one of the months that stood out the most. Like I was usually averaging around the high 20s, 30s, but that 40K month was like, yo, anything's possible. coming from, you know how hard it is to make that kind of money just working a 9 to 5. I just came from making 60,000 a year, 60,
Right.
70,000 max a year, working a hard job that's working every day, 8, 9 hours a day, and I'm doing these kind of numbers within a month. You get what I'm saying? So that was like that stood out the most, and I really like knew sky's was the limit from there.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Awesome. So, there's a lot of stuff like I watch Freight Waves. I know I've even heard you say it. Everybody's saying that the market is down. And I
Yeah,
was talking to Benny about it. We're doing okay over here with the down
yeah,
market. Benny said he was doing good. You seem to be doing, you're working. You know what I mean? We ain't getting
yeah.
rich by no means, but we
Of course,
working and we ain't struggling
everybody.
at the same level as some of these guys that just don't have the right information, the right knowledge in the vans or whatever that are really hurting right now. A lot of people crying hurt. Freight
Yeah,
wave, everybody's talking about the numbers, too many brokers, too much capacity, too much this, too much that. And I don't let that deter me personally because I think, man, we can go out here and just and
yeah.
be a killer and just take over what other people are doing that ain't doing right or ain't doing good enough or get new skills, new information. But what do you see as the market is considered right now and industry trends? Kind of like where do you think it's headed? And where do you see the trends going and and where is the market overall as of where it is, where's it going, what do you think?
Right now, I think they're just weeping a lot of people out, man, because the market is oversaturated, just carriers in general, like just the whole trucking market. Period. A lot of people got in around the pandemic and wasn't used to these downtimes. They wasn't built to maybe probably even be in this industry.
Right.
To be honest, so they rode the wave, and from there now it's crashing and burning, and people just jumping out the window left and right. At the end of the day, who survives and still be here, they'll see the ups and downs, and we all pray for a better day at the end of the day. And a new trend that I'm seeing now, double brokering is a thing, right? We already know that, right? But right now, I'm seeing a different trend of double brokering. Back in 2021, we had a double brokering going on where to the point it wasn't that bad. Like a broker will post a load about $5,000, right? He'll get that load, then another broker will book that load, and then they'll post it on a load for 4,500. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So once that person picks up that load and deliver, they'll make $500 off of it. Now it's got so bad that the double broker is on a different level. Now this person is posting it for 5,000, right? So broker A is posting it for 5,000. Broker B will come, book the load, and turn around and post it for just say 8, 9,000. It's way more than the driver expected. It looks like an excellent load. So the driver goes in there and books it, right? The driver takes the load, deliver it, send the rate cons to broker B. Broker B get paid by broker A, and now the driver doesn't get paid at all. So
Yeah.
now that is horrible. That happened to a few guys that I know, and it's not good for them. It's not good for the industry. We need regulations on things of that nature because at the end of the day, right? Let's just say I'm the carrier, right? And this person double broker that load. I don't think if something happens to that load, I don't think this driver insurance should get hit. You know why? Because it's a double broker load. He's not
Right.
even on that contract. You get on the original contract.
Right.
But, it's things of that nature that's going on that I think they need to capitalize on and focus on and getting that out the way because it's not good for the industry. People are
Yeah.
being
No, I
robbed.
100% agree with that. I don't know how they're going to do it personally. That actually just happened on a load we were doing that it was actually this big load that we're doing, but we knew that it was a double broker from the beginning. So we got tactics now about how we get to the customer, right? So we book it and we get straight to the customer. Well, the first one that posted it and knocked it in the head that we accepted it from to get to the next one for 15. Then we get to the second one and they were like, nah, we don't work with this company. We're going to give it to you for 20 and cut them out. But then we got there to show up to pick it up. And we were like, hey, we ain't working with neither one of these guys. We got our own stuff and set up. And they gave it to us for 25 and they got out the way. And, the third and the second broker was pissed, but to get to the level that we at, we just pushing them out the way anymore.
Of course.
But I don't know how they're going to fix it. There's no regulating body. I mean, FMCSA, yeah, but there's nobody to investigate it. There's nobody to catch them, and 90% of them are overseas. So how are you going to even? It's just
You're right.
Going to do
You're
it.
Right. Right now, it's devastating because at the end of the day, you spend 3,000-4,000 on doing a load and not compensated. It's very hard,
Yeah, and then there's people out here teaching it too, like YouTube influencers and TikToks. I actually saw a dude the other day. It was some Hispanic dude from Cali, and he was on Freight Waves, and because they be going at with him all the time on Freight Waves, and he was like, "Yeah, we teach double broker," and I tell all my clients to double broker. I show them how to do it, blah blah. And I'm just like, "Dang, man." I don't know how you gonna say that out loud. You know,
Yeah, cancer to the industry, man. They're
that's
cancer to the industry.
it's crazy out here. It really is. That the only thing you can do is do your due diligence, be very careful, and then we have a brokerage. So what I
Yeah,
started doing here recently is we say, okay, you don't want booking it. We go check the phone number, call them, and make sure. I'm sure you've dealt with that. Where they're like, we got to call the number on FMCSA. You got to pick up, or we ain't booking it. So I'll do that
yeah,
and have my people do that. But then also what I have them do is, and it's annoying to some people, the drivers and carriers, that pisses them off. But I'm like, hey, go take a picture of your smiling self doing one finger, two finger, whatever we tell you to do. That way we know it's live. By the truck logo on the side, so I can say, okay, it actually is this guy. He's actually on there. The truck is actually on the registration insurance, and the logo on the side is actually the right company. You know.
See,
But
people not go through all that. At the end of the day, these brokers, they're gonna book. They're gonna
yeah,
book the load. The driver's gonna book the load. The broker's gonna be wherever they're at. Just having, hey, just call me when it's delivered. You know,
yeah,
they have that kind of attitude. They're not gonna go do their further investigation on checking
yeah.
to
And
see who got the load.
I
You
do
know,
see that being a problem for
it's
sure.
only an issue when the load doesn't reach, and you know, things happen, like accidents happen with the load, and the load is damaged. That's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah,
And,
it
you know,
happened to me one time early on in my career, like the first year of our authority, or the first like 3 months. We got burned on one on a double broker, and that was my lesson. I was like, never again. We credit checking everything. We looking into everything. Now we've been burnt by brokers going out of business. We just had one big broker actually. They went bankrupt, and they owed us like 15,000. We ain't getting that, and the bond
yeah.
list to go against their bond was like 60, 70 deep. So we ain't getting nothing from that.
Yeah, yeah.
A
And you
little
know,
rough.
just to further go on that, because some people may not know, like basically when they snatch the bond, you know, it's a certain amount. I think the person, one of my people I mentor, you know, he had a claim against the company, and I think they had about 75,000 in the bond.
Right.
The FDSA, I think they snatched that, and then they had to split it up between about a ton of carriers. And at the end
That's
of
the
the
thing
day,
is what, and
they
we've done it
split.
because we went after a few, and we've gotten paid out. It takes up to a year to 2 years to
Yeah,
get the money and close it out.
yeah,
But whoever the factoring company, if they were using one, see, a lot of people don't know brokers use factoring companies. So
yeah,
their UCC lien that they file against that broker's name, they get the first amount of money if they're owed any. So if the factoring company fronted 75, 100 grand, none of the carriers are getting paid because the broker had that lien on their name. So they get paid
yeah,
all the money first. But if they don't owe a factoring company any money, then yeah, it's in line. And if you got 100 carriers they screwed over, at what time did you file? Because they go right down the list, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You know, and they split up the money to 75 grand based on percentage. It's kind of like a lawsuit when they do a class action lawsuit based on how much or damages you're claiming. They give
yeah,
you a percentage of the whole total to like
yeah.
make you whole, but it might be $20. You know.
Yeah, and then that's why I like kind of dealing with OTR and working with OTR solution as well. You know, they non-recourse.
Yeah.
So you know, if they work with this company and I submit that paperwork, I'm gonna get paid whether that company pays or not. You get what I'm saying? They're
Right.
gonna go after them. So you know, that's why I love OTR solutions. So
Yeah.
huh?
Yeah, they're a good company, man. They're one of the only ones out there still doing that. There was a few other ones, but none of them are doing it anymore. They're the only ones. In fact, OTR is not even doing it on their brokerage factoring side. We were going to
Yeah,
upgrade to them for our brokerage, and they're like, no, we're not doing the non-recourse on the broker side anymore. It's recourse at 90 days.
yeah,
But it's just the way the industry is, man. So one thing I like to do with people who come on the podcast, I like to get in your brain and find out, like, how do you make decisions, right? How do you approach decision making? What does that look like? You know, when Wad's looking at something, and whether it be a problem or a solution or expansion, or we're gonna grow or whatever, you know, what does that look like?
At the end of the day, when it comes to decision making, like just say for instance, like when I'm picking out a load, it has to fit my criteria. I run certain lanes. Like I'm not just going through the mountains of West Virginia looking for a load. Like, you know, some places I just don't go. Like you won't catch water in West Virginia. You won't find me past Texas. Like, you know, I just stay in my own lanes. That's one thing. I have to be in my own lanes. That's a part of the decision making when it comes to basically trucking. And you know, at the end of the day, when I'm booking a load as well, it has to be beneficial for me. I'm not out here doing brokers favors. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
They're sitting at home eating and drinking and doing whatever they're doing. You know, I'm out here working hard. I'm not out here doing favors for brokers. You know, I'm trying to get paid. You can't pay bills with doing favors for people. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, I also do favors. Let me take that back because I have great customers that have great relationships with me. You know, And I do them a favor, man. You know, if they need me a certain day, you know, I'll leave early and get there and make sure we make the transaction happen perfect. But you know, it has to be beneficial to me. You know, for sure, it has to be beneficial for me, and then the other party as well. And when it comes to decision making, it's like, man, you have to do what's best for you and your family at the end of the day.
Right. What's best for you and your company?
Because we're in business, not a nonprofit organization. I'm not doing this for charity. You get what I'm saying?
I tell people that all the time. Like, look, it has to be enough profit on the bone or meat on the bone. I do this for a profit. You know what I mean? I can't sign. Like, people call me all the time. Can you lease us on for 10%, 5%, whatever? I'm like, no, I can't have an arm out there that can get chopped off to make $25 a week, $50 a week. It don't make no sense. I don't do this for fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is not a nonprofit, so you know, you have to make money out here. Everything is expensive, man. Tires, breakdowns, just general expenses, man. Like everything is very high right now. With this inflation going on, man, things is as high as it's ever been. Yeah. And right now is the time, man, to really like go out here, work hard, and make sure you're getting what you deserve.
Right. I tell people that all the time. Is like I do a lot of things for fun, but trucking ain't one of them. I mean, we do have some fun. Come on now, you know, I mean, we do have fun, and especially I love a challenge. So that's why I went out and drove for a long time doing the heavy haul stuff. I actually didn't drive for like 4.5 years running the fleet, but I just went. We got I wanted to make some content and keep up with y'all on the RG and stuff. So that's why I did my YouTube stuff and everything. But it is fun. I love it. It's a challenge. Are there any misconceptions or myths out right now that you see or that you'd like to address as far as, I don't know, just myths? Everybody thinks there is money, there ain't money, it's get rich quick, you can do this, you can do that, whatever, that it's not real, and the real side of it is this?
I think a myth a lot of people probably that probably what's going on is that, a lot of people they see on the internet or me or anyone, like all this happened overnight. That's a real big myth. Like I told you, the journey started back in 2014. And you've been in the game for a decade as well. So it's like, that's one big myth I can say for sure. You see a lot of people online, making money, doing their things, man. We took a lot of losses too. I posted losses too. I posted a lot of losses. Like, if you follow me, I posted on my page, but if you've been following the journey, man, you see the stories, you see the breakdown, you see the blowout, you see the expenses. Those are a lot.
I went to Cali. I had 9 blowouts on the way to Cali the last time I took that feller buncher out there. I posted every one of them damn things. People was like, damn, you spend more time in the tire shop than you do driving down the road. I'm like, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I can imagine, man. I always wanted to drive to Cali, but just going across that desert and that heat, and just driving super heavy like that, that's what
summer don't do it.
It's not worth it.
In the winter, it still sucks. Spring, maybe fall, I don't know. But in the summer, it's too fucking hot. It just ruins your truck and your tires. And I've been to all 48 and Canada and everywhere else. I haven't been. I thought about going and just getting a job in Hawaii, flying over there doing FedEx or something. Just like I say, I've been in all 50.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
My ass over there and sleeping on a cot or something.
But another big misconception, I think, man, is like, besides being an overnight success and things of that nature, I would think like, people got to learn how to like enjoy the process of becoming great. A lot of people don't enjoy the process of becoming great. Like, you got to start.
That's good. That's good. Enjoy the process.
Yeah, the process. They just like the ending results.
Yeah. Who don't like money and steak and lobster and all the fun shit, but people don't like shit in the middle.
Yeah. They don't want to go through the breakdowns. They don't want to go through, man, you sleeping in a sleeper, it's cold, you're freezing, but you got your mind focused, you think about your family, you think about, the little ones that depend on you, your kids, and at the end of the day, you got to make it happen. And like, you got to start somewhere. You just got to start. A lot of people want to do what I'm doing, but I don't care where you start. Just start somewhere. Get that clock running right now. Get your CDL. Even if you start off at Hot Shot, you get what I'm saying? Just start somewhere.
I think there's definitely you for sure going on Asian Mind, all that single-handedly, maybe one or two other people, but y'all single-handedly made heavy haul fucking cool. All of a sudden, every other Instagrammer, every other person out here, and even myself was like, maybe I'll show that side of it. I didn't think anybody cared because that was way outside. I was focused on like the Hot Shot stuff because I thought people could get into it quicker and easier. But everybody wants to make the big money, but everybody ain't willing to do what it takes to do it either. Like basically, if y'all listen, what he was saying is he was saying it with his chest, me by myself on the yard, one truck, all the back, and 9,000 trailers, more miles backwards than he was forwards.
Yeah, facts. You gotta start somewhere, and it's a journey. Like, yo, a lot of people's, like I said, see the end results, but those hard work, those hard days, those hard nights is gonna come together and paint a perfect picture, man. At the end of the day,
it's a process, man, for sure.
You just gotta start stroking the brush right now and start painting. Just painting. You just paint the picture. Life is a picture, man.
Right. That's some good shit right there. I'm gonna clip that out and make that a TikTok or something, man. Respect, just take the time, respect the process, man. That's some good stuff. So can you recommend it? I always ask everybody this, man, because I'm big into books, you know, and just all kind of motivate, trying to stay motivated, trying to learn new shit. I go to these 10X events with Grant Cardone and stuff over on your side of Miami, where he's at. I'm not, and just anybody and everybody, man. I follow everybody I can on YouTube. I follow you. I follow it. That's pretty much all I follow, people that are doing things and trying to get, you know, think outside the box, level up, grow, and take chances and make some stuff happen. But can you recommend any books, resources, influential figures, or people that, you know, made a profound impact on your career? I know you mentioned Joe. You might throw his Instagram out there or something, or whatever. But yeah, anybody or any books or motivators or mentors or anything that you see that you use personally as motivation to do what you're doing now.
Yeah, when it comes to motivation, I used to watch a lot of like E.T., Eric Thomas.
Yeah.
And, one of the books I read was Rich Dad Poor Dad. That was a good book. How to like have the money work for you. If a lot of people don't know, I'm really big into stocks, man. I like buy a lot of stocks. Like after you see me make a lot of money off trucking, man, I'm going to dab right back into stocks, man. At the end of the day, your body and you can only work so much hours a day. But you know, you still need that passive income. You need that income you need to put money in positions where it's making money itself. So, you know, I've been studying stocks ever since like the market crashed.
Yeah.
Like basically when the pandemic happened, that's when I really started investing around 2020. I really started taking investing. You know, I just got a crazy portfolio right now. Just been building and working on stocks. And, you know, that's for the future. And I also, you know, educated myself, ended up getting like a Roth IRA and just, you know, compound interest and just piling money, man.
Smart man. He knows about the index and S&P 500 and all that, man.
Yeah. And, you know, and a lot of people know about, you know, just imagine, like, you know, you always see those things on Instagram. Just imagine if you would have invested in Tesla in 2010.
Oh, man, I saw one the other day.
If you just put $1,000 in Tesla back in 2010, you'd have X amount of dollars.
Oh, man, Facebook, all that. You know, Gary Vaynerchuk, you know who he is, the little dude, Gary V on Instagram and stuff. He's a little thing. His best friend asked him to invest in a company where you get in somebody else's car and they take you somewhere. And he's like, that shit ain't never gonna work, you know, taxis, right? And it became Uber, and he was he thought about it. He almost put $1 million in it. If he would have put $1 million in it would have netted him like $100 million. And he didn't do it, and he skipped on it, and then his buddy blew it up, and then, you know, sold it and venture capital out and everything, and raised some money where he couldn't get into it no more. But he said, I missed on that one.
Just with that mind frame, man, I really start dabbling, doing my research and thinking about the future. You know, one thing I think about the future is the hydrogen trucks is going to be real big in the future. The electric is just not going to work. You know why?
I don't think the electric won't work either.
It's not going to work. We don't have a grid to power that many trucks. Just imagine when we pull up at a busy truck stop, you see you got 30 lanes, and you know it's 2-3 trucks in each lane. How long is it going to take for all these guys to get this electric? It's impossible. Electric is not going to work for the long haul, but the hydrogen is going to work. I think, and I think I'm going to invest big in a hydrogen trucking company. It's one that I know of. Is a lot of people may think it's a joke, but Nikola, I think they're going to be a big company in the future. Right now, you know, they're going through the ins and outs, the ups and the downs, and then, you know, they had a bad reputation because the owner did some things, but I think that's going to be a real big company, Nikola.
Yeah. I don't think that the electric and the autopilot and like the Tesla apparatus it can apply to what we're doing for 20 years. But I did see something the other day that, you know, if you think about it, technology used to go in like 10 or 15 year phases, and now we do it so much faster. Like we're 10 years in 1 year. We can go that much further faster what we got now. So I don't know, it might surprise us with the electric shit, but I don't see it. I know I did run into the Tesla truck that the chick is driving, Frito-Lay, out in Cali. She's got a lane from, I think it's like Seattle to somewhere, and I ran into her out on the road, and I was like, damn, this is actually kind of cool. But
I think, electric will work. Don't get me wrong, but it will work for basically like the guys, like the UPS box truck drivers who go out and come back, like the short haul, the last mile guys. It's going to work for them because at the end of the day, they're going to go to their hub and let it. They're going to go to their hub at night and let it charge overnight. I could kind of see that working because at the end of the day, like when I was working for Nestle, like those reefers, they ran off electric during the day once they got to the facility because they had an electric portal to hook it up to where it's not running on fuel. The whole night it'll run on electric, and then I think it's the same concept when it comes to probably the box trucks and the UPS guys and the FedEx guys, the Amazon delivery drive, last mile guys. It's gonna work perfect for them. Electric is gonna work perfect.
That too, and there's nobody to work on them. And we break down all the time because we're putting so much more wear and tear on the equipment that there's nobody that knows how to work on the shit right now. That's like a Tesla problem. If you get in an accident with a Tesla, it's got to go back to Tesla to get rebuilt or fixed or whatever. Or if you have a breakdown, it's got to go back to Tesla. Nobody else can work on them. Yeah. So you can't go to your local mechanic or have your guy that down the road or your homie fix it or whatever. It won't work. So that's a new problem too. I did see something today, and you in this space too. I shared it to my Facebook group, Trucking No Bullshit, is like the windmill towers, to change the motors out, they have to be changed every 5 years, right?
Yeah.
The motors that actually turn, and it takes like 5 heavy haul trucks to get to take a new motor out there, a huge ass crane. All of that is diesel powered stuff to pick it up in there, take the old one down, put all those components on other trucks, take them back, send them, get rebuilt, bring them back out. So they got these windmills out there. They're saving energy and electric, but you sending all these teams of diesel powered, deleted trucks out here, the big boys, right, doing what you doing with the 8 axle, moving these motors or 13 axles or whatever, and these motors and these components. That's hilarious. I didn't know they had to be changed out so often, but I guess that's the thing, and rebuilt.
It's evolution happening right in front of us, man. Like right now is to see the new thing and capture it before it even becomes what it becomes.
So how did you get started? You basically just leveraged your credit and went and bought a truck and a trailer for the heavy side of it.
Yeah, at the time, I had decent credit. So my first truck, I didn't have to put anything down. So that was just a starter right there. I was blessed to have good credit. Prior years, like 3 years before, when I first started working this, I didn't have really good credit. The whole time I was there, I was fixing my credit, and luckily I was doing that because I would have been out of job and had bad credit. It would have been a good picture. I probably wouldn't be here if that was the case. So
So that's something people need to really pay attention to. I had to work on my credit too when I was younger, man. I messed it all up, and that was the best thing I ever did was fix my credit, man.
Yeah.
You can't do anything in business. You can't do anything in life. You can't get your dream home. You can't
get
the truck and the car you want, the equipment you want without credit, man. You just can't do it.
Yeah, even when I first got my job at Nestle, I think I bought my first house in 2015. So yeah, it was 2015 or 16. I bought my first one. I was like around 27 years old. So, with all that revolved around credit,
Right. 100%. How does Wad stay motivated, man? How do you stay motivated? What do you do when you're getting down or just, day to day? How you staying motivated? What do you listen to? What's the inner Wad, what's going through your mind, man?
When I get down, man, one thing about me, I always try to find the good and the bad. Like it could be the worst day, but I admire the good thing that's going on within that day. I don't worry about everything that's going bad because some things in life I don't focus on things that I can't control, and I try to enjoy the goods. It could be the worst day, but I'll find the good things that happen and enjoy that moment. So at the end of the day, that's kind of like motivation as well. And then I have kids as well, in a family. That's motivation right there. You look at your kid, you look into your kids' eyes. They didn't ask to be here. You're their provider. You're their everything. You're their everything to them. At the end of the day, I go out there and give it my all to provide for my family, do what's right, and make sure everything is good. They have a better life, and I can put them in a better space. At the end of the day,
that's all the motivation anyone really needs, right?
That's all the motivation. I look in my kids' eyes.
What are some essential skills and qualities that you think every truck driver should possess if they're gonna jump into this? They gotta have these couple of skills, or it just ain't gonna work. Everybody.
I would say, first of all, you need some common sense. A lot of people, they're out there.
He said you guys have common sense.
Make the sense be very common. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And then also, I think drivers, at the end of the day, you got to be a lot hands-on. You know what I'm saying? Like me and my truck, I have a whole toolkit majority of the things that happen to my truck, the small things, the radiator leaks and stuff, I jump out calmly and I fix it myself, and we get back on the road. No roadside. If it's something simple that I can fix, like recently, I don't know if you was following me. I went to Atlanta, Georgia, right? And I went to the Petro, and I went to get the truck washed. They're washing. I got an engine wash too. I guess the pressure was a little just too hard, and he hit one of the radiator lines, and it was one of those metal lines, and it kind of like knocked the rust off to the point where it had a tiny leak. So now it's leaking radiator fluid, man. I just took my time, pulled over, went and parked it, took the whole radiator line out. There's like a metal line, but it started to rust it. So I took it completely out, and then I captured all the radiator in a bucket. Went in there, I bought what's they call it? Something that fixes leaks. I forgot the name of it. I think it's JB Wells.
Yeah.
I put that JB Wells on there, let it dry overnight, put it back on, and next day filled it up with radiator fluid, and I was on my way. It didn't stop me. It didn't really cost me much to fix it, but just imagine you call on the roadside to come fix it.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? You got to be hands-on,
resourceful,
especially if you're. You got to be very resourceful when it comes to your own truck, and you have to learn these things because at the end of the day,
tell my clients, I tell everybody out here, whether they go like you got a program, whether they go get you as a mentor or me or whoever, or somebody else or Benny or whoever's got programs, right? You better get a damn program if you ain't a resourceful individual. Like me and you, it sounds like, Benny Smith, we're going to get out there and just figure it the fuck out. We're okay.
Yeah.
We're going to land on our feet no matter how you flip it, because we're just resourceful people that are just refuse to quit, refuse to take no for an answer. Not everybody's like that. If you're not like that, definitely get a mentor for sure, right?
Yeah. So at the end of the day, I'm going to pull over and take my time and fix my truck, and this equipment's going to get there when it get there. I'm not going to stress over. I'm not going to be upset. I used to do that a lot at the beginning. Now I don't even do that. I jump out. Whoa, the truck got a problem. Let's go fix it.
Right.
Go out there, spend an hour or two, relax. We have a sleeper. I go in the back, lay down, turn on the AC, think about it, do what I have to do, let time go by, and make things happen.
Right.
I'm not going to cry about it. We're not going to call roadside to come rob us.
Right. So, and that's because when you're out on the road, they always robbing that.
Of course,
I've met 5 maybe that were honorable, that gave us an honest work for a good pay. So how do you, and going back to the family, how do you manage work-life balance? I know some people don't even have one. Some people think it's a joke. You just work your ass off and do what you can do and come home. But do you have a goal in mind? How do you manage work-life balance with a family being on the road doing trucking?
Oh, of course. When I first started, I tried to always leave out on a Sunday and be back home by Thursday at the end of the day. Like if I didn't make that money within that time, I'm not going to spend extra time. Time with your family is very important. Some people, they get the illusion that, they're just going to wake up and work every day for money. Like work. Money is something that they're printing every single day. I'm not going to kill myself. To be honest, money is up there. We all could agree. Money is up there with air. They both are just as important. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to spend my whole life just chasing money. I always preach to people to always have that balance to where you have off time, home time, fun time, vacation away from the truck, man, because this industry will drive you crazy, man. If you're just trucking, you're not taking care of yourself, you're not vacationing, you're not spending time with family, man. It'll drive you crazy, to be honest. So that you need that off time to reset. You need that off time away from trucking. So I try to put it to where, I work, I try to have my schedule. I leave out on a Sunday night and I'm home no later than Thursday. If the money's not made by Thursday night, we're gonna call it a wrap, come home, enjoy the family, and we're gonna get back to it Sunday night again. The following week. At the end of the day, you just need that balance. And I try to preach that to these young guys. The younger guys who really don't have a family who's just out here, you can go out there and stay for a month. But as you get older, you will learn that you'll value your free time and the time you spend with your family more than just making money. Money is important, like I said, but time is the most important thing in life. They're printing money right now as we speak, printing it and printing it and printing. At the end of the day, time is the most important thing in the world. Because at the end of the day, just think about it. I heard one person say if I was to give you $10 million a day, would you be happy? The guy said, what you think? If I gave you $10 million right now, would you be happy?
Right.
If I give you 10 million right now and I say you're not going to live to see tomorrow, would you still take that 10 million?
Right. You wouldn't.
10 million. That's what I'm saying.
Nobody would. I mean, I don't know how a small percentage of people would, but most people ain't going to do that. They're like, hell no.
Yeah. So that just goes to show you that time is the most important thing in the world. Like, you won't accept $10 million, but due to the fact that you're not going to live to see tomorrow. The time on this earth, you got to cherish it, enjoy it, and, don't spend your whole life just, chasing money. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people have regrets of just chasing money and away from family and friends. It's great to have money. Like I said, it's up there with air. It's just as important as air. But don't waste your whole life just chasing it. Have some fun in between. Take some vacation. Love your kids.
100%. 100%. I couldn't agree more. So this is one. I mean, it may not be something that you focus on, but it's something that I focus on, and some people do. But what tips and strategies do you have for maintaining a healthy lifestyle on the road? Because I know when we on the road, we ain't got access to. I mean, yes or no, we have access to good food, but not really. It's hard. You got to go out of your way to really not eat McDonald's every day, all day. And I know it was kind of funny when I left out the road. I told you I was out the truck for 4 years. Yeah. It was Subways and more stuff like that. When I went back in this last time, it seems like McDonald's bought out every friggin' truck stop, and every Subway got booted, every Popeyes got booted, every Taco Bell got booted, every Denny's, every used to be a lot of in the TAs too, the Southern Pride kitchens and stuff. They all got booted, and it's a lot of McDonald's now. So that's one thing I see a problem in the industry. But what do you do to manage a healthy lifestyle or somewhat healthy lifestyle on the road?
As a driver, we spend a lot of time behind the wheel. So when I'm behind the wheel and just going out on that journey, I don't eat. You know what I eat when I'm on the road? I just bring a lot of, I chop up a lot of watermelon and I put in Ziplocs, big Ziploc bags. I pack a lot of watermelon, things that are low on calorie, and water, and I drink a lot of coconut water. And then when I eat, when I go to Love's, they have those boiled eggs. I just eat the egg white and I throw it.
That's what I do too. I'm eating on
that's it. That's my diet right there when I'm on the road. I'm not eating no fried chicken, nothing fried, man. Yeah. Hey, these truck stops are serving death to the driver. Like, it's death in there. Pizza and I stay away from all that, man.
Yeah, I see everybody coming out with 9 hot dogs and the pizzas and the damn big gulps and stuff, and I'm just and I'm like, damn, man. Damn, you just
I really don't even drink soda like that. So it's water and coconut water going in my body. And if I need a coffee, I'll take a coffee.
Right.
Besides that, watermelon and egg whites. Now that's what I'm dieting on. Because at the time, you're not burning as much calorie. Even though we do get physical, it's just for a short period of time. Even if it's an hour out of the day, but you may be driving the rest of the day. So, low calorie. I keep the calories low. And, that kind of balance the fact that you're not, burning as much calorie within the day.
That's good, man. I lost 50 pounds just sitting on my ass in the truck, so it can be done. You ain't exercising, but you can for damn sure not drink all that soda and stuff, man. I mean, you just got to commit to doing it, man. And, I go to Subway, I get a protein bowl with some teriyaki chicken or something, or I go to, whatever. Even if I went to Popeyes, I get the naked chicken tenders and just eat that or whatever, man. It's hard, but, if you have to eat like a McDonald's, just eat the burger.
You gotta be disciplined. That's where the discipline comes into play.
And in the truck, it'd be hard because you lonely if you ain't around your family. If you're at it, I used to go out 2, 3, 4 weeks at a time. But if you're out there, you're lonely, you bored, so you're always looking for a snack. And then they market it well. You be going to pay for gas, and right there's a candy or whatever right by your hand. Like, damn.
Debbie Swiss roll.
All right. So that's good, man. That's good advice for people. Is that coconut water, man, water, and them eggs. That's where it's at, right there. Eggs. What advice would you give to someone right now? I know you give a lot of advice. You're a mentor to a lot of people, and you're out here, and got programs and stuff. So where can they find you for that? Also, that you said they can go to your Instagram. Where else can they get your program and your mentorship?
Basically, they just go to my Instagram, and I have the links in my bio just for everything, man. Even just everything that I possibly mentioned is in my bio. Next hands-on securement is November 11th, and if you want to get Factor or OTR, I got a link for that as well. I just got links for everything. So go to Water 100 and on Instagram, and they can reach me and all the programs that I offer these guys.
Nice. So what advice would you give someone considering a career in the trucking industry right now? If they was getting ready to jump into it, what advice would you give them quick?
looking to jump in the trucking industry first. Once you get your CDLs, go get that experience, man. I don't care who it's with. Jump with a mega carrier. Don't think you're gonna just jump out here and go get your own authority. I don't advise that. Get that experience under the company. Go make those mistakes. You know, you get what I'm saying? That first incident I had, guess what? It was not under my authority. It was under Warner's under authority. And you're gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen. It's a part of the learning curve. Go make your mistakes and learn from it. And then from there, elevate. You know,
Yep.
Losses turn into lessons, and lessons turn into blessings. At the end of the day, you got to go through those phases to reach that blessing. And from there, the sky is the limit, man. You just got to start somewhere and just stay focused, man. Stay dedicated, and the rest is history from there.
Yeah, that's good stuff, man. That's because I couldn't agree with you more, man. I mean, that's what it takes is just get in and like you said, you know, that loss was under Warner. But a lot of people don't realize if you want to go learn, you need to learn on somebody else's dime. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. Everybody wants to own their own shit. But I'm telling you, when you get hit with them bills, like you said, 4,000 or 5,000, 10,000, you know, Benny just had his. Not everybody's cut out for that. If you go make those mistakes on somebody else's dime while they're training you, teaching you, and then when those mistakes happen, they can pay for it versus you. It's a better way to go about it. And then you're like, oh, I don't do that now under my own thing later on. For sure, man. But hey, man, I really appreciate you coming on, man. I really do. You're inspiration to me. Brothers, man. Everybody loves watching you, man. We'll have to do this again for sure. There's a lot of good gems, man. I'm gonna take and chop some of that stuff up, man, and put it in. There's some good gems, some short wins on there for sure.
We here, man.
We gotta definitely make this happen again, man. So if there's anything you want to add, man, let them know. They said that you can find them on WAD_100 on Instagram.
Yep, that's me. That's me. And at the end of the day, they know the slogan, man. Your hustle determines your salary, man. At the end of the day, I really believe in that. Your hustle determines your salary. You got to go out there and hustle, man. It's not going to come to you.
Right.
I never saw no one
make it happen.
Never seen no one get rich just sitting on their butt, and the money just comes to them like a magnet.
Yeah,
that doesn't happen in this lifetime. So go out there and hustle, man. Give it your all.
Everybody wants to get, especially in the heavy haul game. I was talking to Benny about this too, and now he's in the oversized stuff. But everybody sees these big, and I know you post them, I post them, he posts. Everybody does. There are a lot of the other heavy haulers out there. They post these big, and it ain't hard. You can go on the damn load boards and look up what the loads are paying. That don't mean you know what it is. But I asked Benny the same question that I asked you. They don't give that money away, do they? That big money, they don't just give it away, right? You got to work your ass off to get it.
You gotta go in there and convince them. Like those loads that you see me moving for, if the load paid me 15, they probably had it posted for 8,000 or 9,000.
Right.
So you gotta go in there and talk.
And you see that 15, everybody does like, damn, he getting 15, but you ain't seeing the escorts, you ain't seeing the permit, you ain't seeing the cost of the equipment, you ain't seeing the fuel, you ain't seeing the sitting time.
The fuel is the devil. The fuel is the devil right now.
Right, I'll tell you, all that shit dwindles down, and you still make good money. You can make good money doing it, but not everybody. They think you get a 20, 30, 40, 50. I know you was talking to a dude on Instagram, but I think the dude you was talking about, I can't think of his name.
Joe.
That load was paying like 20, 30, 40, 50, some big number, right?
Yeah.
But when you talk about
expenses.
Yeah, how much is the
expenses?
Yeah, exactly. And they're at least always, I always say in any industry, I don't care if you're selling widgets, doing roofing, you're doing landscaping, you're doing trucking, you're doing heavy haul, expenses are always going to be 50, 60%. There's very rarely do you have margins that are, if you're selling a pair of jeans, it don't matter what it is, they're very rarely do margins exceed, 50%.
Yeah.
In anything in the world. I don't care if you're a doctor, you're a chiropractor, a dentist, there's cost to do this stuff. Anything. And to see, margins above 30%, you winning. Trucking already has low margins anyway. Statistically, it's like less than 10% most of the time on the conventional side. That's that's what JB Hunt, Swift, Knight, Schneider, all of them are claiming. You can look up because they're publicly traded companies. Stocks, so this.
Yeah.
You go look up at 7 to 10% profit margins on their carrier side. Now their brokers are 15 to 20 and stuff like that. And they have other ways to diversify and make money. And in the heavy haul game, you can go out there and have probably a 30, 40, in some cases, 50% margin. But you can also have a $50,000 loss too.
Of course, within that transaction. So, that load Joe did, it was crazy. He had 2 bucket trucks. He had 2 police escorts. He had front and rear escorts. So, he had a crew of people with him to make this job possible. And then he had people People just putting in work just to make this possible, man. Everybody got to get paid at the end of the day. They're not out there just for fun.
But and then people might say, well, oh man, well he still made 20 bands, whatever. Okay, yeah, he did. That's cool. How much did his trailer cost, and how much did he work his ass off, and how many years? There's a years that he put into this, right? There's a funny saying, and we'll kind of close out on that. I know you probably got to go. Is guy comes up, a company wanted to pay him to do something. They hired one company, thousands and thousands of repairs, couldn't get the thing fixed. This guy says, I can fix it, but I want $100,000, and they're like, okay, whatever. And he walks over and takes a hammer and goes, "Tick," and fixes it. Perfect. First time, right? And they're like, what the hell? We ain't paying you $100,000 for this. And he's like, no. But I think he got paid up front. And he goes, you ain't paying for the work that I did. You're paying for the years that I learned where to hit.
Of course. That's what people don't understand. Like, I tell people all the time, like, yo, don't come to Ward if you think he's gonna give you the best price. I'm not that type. I'm gonna give you the good work. I'm gonna give you excellent work, but my price is not gonna be the best. There's 1,000 people lined up under me to do it for way cheaper, but that's them. You might not receive your product, but me, I'm guaranteed. Once it get on my trailer, I'm gonna get it to the destination safe and sound at the end of the day, and that's what you're paying me for.
That's what I tell everybody too, as a broker, is like, you can go ahead and take that cheap bid, but they probably don't even have a truck. They probably can't even get it done. When you take my bid, it comes with, actual, we're resourceful. We're going to get it done. It comes with results. That name and that price comes with results. The other one may not. It may be terrible results. May not be the outcome that you want. Like, it's funny that we even say that, but there's no lie. One of the guys that picked up the same thing we picked up out here in Texas going to PA, he called me yesterday. And he was like, hey, man, I got to talk to you, blah, blah, about the route, man. I got to talk. Who you getting for your bond? Who you getting for this? Who you getting for that? I was like, why you sell that? He's like, man, I got all the way up here to West Virginia, Kentucky, whatever. And they impounded me, man, charged me $18,000 in fines. I'm screwed. And they won't let me leave and all this. And I was like, so let me get this straight. You went all the way through all them states without a route survey, you didn't set up the police escort, and you didn't do everything, and you ain't bonded? Yeah. Oh, man.
You're in trouble.
I don't know what to tell you. You messed that one up.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
He's in big trouble.
And now then the broker calls me and is like, hey, our load got impounded. Can you rescue it, do this and that? And I'm like, yeah, we can, but I don't know how you're gonna get it out of the impound. You're gonna have to pay all that shit before they let you have it.
Yeah. And another crane has to be called out. So
Right.
That's crazy. Like that's what's going on with this industry, man. A lot of people just undercutting and they're not doing it properly. Like, yeah. Of course, if it doesn't ring a bell in a broker's head. If I'm charging you 15 and somebody calling you and saying they can do it for 5, like, yo,
something's wrong. Ding, 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 ding. Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's to ring some kind of bell, but at the end of the day, they don't care.
Right.
All they see is profit, and like, yo, if he get it there, good. If he don't, well, we'll try to find somebody else.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It is getting crazier out there, but there's good people like you and this Joe guy and a lot of guys out here talking stuff on the internet about how to do it the right way. So that's good, man. So like I said, man, again, thank you for coming out. We're going to end it on that, man. You're like a huge inspiration, man. We'll look forward to doing another one, all right?
Of course. I got plenty of stories, man.
Hey, let's do it, man. Let's do
about an hour, so we'll keep
all day, man. All right, we appreciate it, man. Thank you.
No problem. Take care.